So, as you would have just seen, just lugged the barrow round to the swim that I'm currently in now. I'm at Horcott Lakes for 48 hours. I haven't fished this place for, what, probably going on 6 months. I looked at my last blog, and yeah, it's probably 6 months come next week. So I'm back down here for another 48 hours. Last time it was wet, windy, horrendous conditions. I caught one, lost two, so got a bit of a score to settle on this one. Like I say, barrow's here, and I'm in a swim. No idea what they're called, what number it is. I'm sure there's some peg number somewhere, but basically it's on pretty much like a point. You get to see a lot of water, a load of water. There's no one else here bar one guy. Just looks like he's doing a little bit of pike angling, which is very popular in the winter months. And yeah, I've pretty much got the whole lake at my disposal, hence why I'm in this swim. Gives me visibility of pretty much, what, 80-90% of the lake. The water level is down pretty much like everywhere, obviously due to the hot summer that we've had and very little rain, so the water level is down. So what I'm going to do, I've recently acquired the services of a deeper, so I'm going to get that set up on the spod rod quickly, flick it around, see what I can find. See if I can find any sort of little deeper holes or anything like that. Got 3 rods at my disposal, so we can see what I can do with those 3. But I'm just going to do a dozen casts, pretty much map out what I've got in front of me, get an idea about what's going on, and yeah, I'm going to switch it over for a lead and start having a feel about on the bottom, see what's down there. But let's get this deeper on the spod rod, get the iPad sorted, and yeah, we'll have a look, see what we've got in front of us. Been chucking the deeper around, made about a dozen casts, and I've already got an idea about what I've got in front of me. Now, if you've never used one of these, basically it's just like a wireless sonar. It just pretty much reads the lake bed, gives you a real good clear indication about what's actually going on underneath the water. Some say it's cheating, some say it's not. You know what, I'd rather just use one of these and get an idea and an understanding. You know, if you're tucked into a swim, you got, you know, 5 casts, you've already got an idea about what's going on down there. So pairs up with your app on your phone, app on your tablet, and yeah, it's got like a little built-in wireless which you connect to, and you've probably all seen them before anyway, to be fair. But cool little gadget. Managed to pick one up second hand, so not gonna lie, gonna use it. It's at my disposal, and why not? So what I've been doing is just fanning it around about 60-70 yards, sort of left to right, because obviously as you can see, I've got a massive expanse of water in front of me. What I'm finding is that basically it's about 3.5 foot, but about 30 yards, 40 yards tops, I've found an area that goes down to like 4.5, nearly 5 foot. And according to this little device, it's saying that bottom looks relatively clean as well. So what I'm going to do is get this off, loop to loop a lead on there, and then just fan it out in the area where this was picking up that sort of 4.5 to 5 foot area. Also, obviously, because I'm fishing 3 rods, I'm probably going to put two rods on that spot if if it's allowing. And then what I did find, although it's 3 foot the further out you go, coming in closer to about 20 yards out, it actually goes down again to about 4.5 foot. So it's like a little sort of like a little run through the margins, and I think that's well worth just like underarming one off either side of my other 2 rods, and just using that as a margin rod in case anything's obviously going to come creeping through. And like I say, there is a foot difference, and it does go down, like I say, from 3.5 up to 4.5 foot. So that is well worth exploring, like I say, with the added bonus of being able to use 3 rods. So what I'm going to do is get this one off, get a lead on, give it a cast in the area that this was picking up that deeper water, and yeah, see what I can make out from the lead and the drop and what I'm getting. and yeah, we'll be able to go from there and get a better idea about actually what the rigs are going to be landing on. Well, that swim was short-lived. Barrow is packed and we are heading over onto this back bank. Whilst I've been leading around, I've seen two shows, heard two shows over on the back of the wind down on this bank, and yeah, I've got a brief idea on what swim it is, so I'm not going to waste any time. I only had the spod rod out, so that's all been clipped back on, everything back on the Barrow. Going to make the mission back round to the well, I say back round to the other side, but round to the other side, back through the car park, and yeah, go and see what that's all about. Obviously fishing is all about getting on the fish. I'm not going to commit myself to say this swim when I've seen obviously fish activity on the other side. It might even be that I just, you know, flick a couple of rods out for the day, and I might have to move in that again. But for now, I'm not going to obviously waste the opportunity of seeing two shows and obviously hearing one other one in the complete opposite side of the lake. So let's get moving this lot. I don't think the Barrow tyres are fully pumped up as it should be either, so it's a bit of a mission, to be fair, but still, got to be in it to win it. Round here, all sorted now. I've had a lead around for bare lead, and only 30-40 yards out, which is sort of like where the wind line is sort of breaking, so just on the back of this wind, and I've had a lead around, so 32 yards. I found a nice spot that's going to be for one rod, and it's about 6 foot deep. Now 6 foot, and then it hits a bed of weed, which it's going down lovely as well, so it's going to be presented really nice. So I'm just going to keep that one rod on that spot and probably just fish pure boilie over that one, and then I've got another one 40 yards out, which is going to be for 2 rods. That's going to have a load of particle over the top of it. I've been keeping up to date with the page, have a look through the sort of catch reports of late, and a lot of it is coming to beds of particle, so I've got some particle down there. But again, 40 yards, that's going down just a little over 5 foot, and then again it hits a bed of weeds. So there are holes around this area. When I was leading around on that point area, there were sort of, although it was showing up on the depot it was about 5 foot, there was still a lot of weed around, so I'm really happy with it. I've seen fish show just up to my left hand side, which might be obviously just because of the little bit of disturbance that I've made, but now I've found them spots, I'm 100% happy that the rigs are going to be presented on there nicely. So that's me going to shut up for now. Got the spod rod clipped up, ready to go, and yeah, he's led down there, get some bait out on these spots, and yeah, get the rig sorted really. Going to fish hinge stiffs on all 3. That's what I had my 3 bites from last time I was down here, and yeah, hopefully that will do the business. But like I say, I have seen fish up to my left hand side, so they've not gone a million miles if I have spooked them out the area. So yeah, let's get this bait out. Fingers crossed it's worth the effort of getting ourselves around here. Very quick rundown then of the rigs that I'm going to be using. So the middle and the right hand one, they're going to be fishing over the particle spot, slightly longer in length with the boom because it's not going down as firmly as the shorter 8 wrap spot. So I've just added sort of like an extra inch and a half onto those booms, so I know they'll just flutter down nicely then and sit on any sort of bottom debris. So yeah, boom sections are made out of the Jackal semi-stiff in weed green. Will match obviously the lake bed and the surroundings perfectly. Up to sort of like short hinge stiffs, chod sections, pink, triple M pink specials, triple M pop-up, match the hatch, triple M pop-up, pastel yellow. Now these are all obviously pinned down with the heavy metal putty there, heavyweight, really mouldable, sticks to the swivels really well. And yeah, I've never really had any problems with that stuff coming off or you know, softening up or anything like that. So they're the 3 rigs of choice, and obviously hook bait colours. Now as you can see in the pot, they're all the triple M ones there. I've gone with a pink one just amongst the freebie boilies at the shorter spot, so the 8 wrap spot. That's just going to stand out amongst the other bottom baits that I've spommed out, so the 5 spoms of bait. Over the particles, obviously I've got boilies in the mix as well, 10 and 15 mil, so that's going to mimic those 3 offerings in the particles. And also the pastel ones is going to mimic the yellow, the sweet corn in the mix, and any of the other sort of bits and pieces that are also a very similar colour. So those are the 3 hook bait colours. Those are the 3 hook baits going out. They are the chosen ones. Now it's just a case of wrapping up the rods, getting them out onto the spot, then I can finally just sit back and watch the water. Since obviously sorting these rigs out, I've seen a couple more shows down to the left hand side, actually a little bit closer to me this time, which is always encouraging, in that the sense that they might actually be working their way back up from me, maybe, you know, just disturbing them out of the area earlier. So let's get these on the rods, get them wrapped up, get them out on the spot, and I can finally have my first brew of the morning. Two separate spots going, one with 2 rods on it and one with 1 rod on it, so a shorter rod and 2 longer rods. Now on the shorter rod I'm just going with boilies. Now it's getting to that time of year when the temperatures are starting to, you know, drop off at night time, getting down to low single figures at times, even the odd little frost. So fishing with boilies over one spot just as a bit of something a bit foody, really, just something to give them something to get their heads down on and feel like they're actually getting something of you know, something of a substantial meal as such. What I'm doing, I've got the triple M boilies in there, so that's 15 mils and 10 mils. I always keep a good couple of kilos soaking for as long as possible, and when they're running out, I'm usually topping up the bucket with more bait and then giving them a good glug of something or another. This time I'm using the stick mix liquid, the krill liquid. So obviously, you know, a stinky, a foody, smelly liquid attraction there. It's going to really, you know, suck into them boilies and give them something to just ooze off throughout the session, and it, yeah, absolutely stinks like anything krill related. So yeah, that's gone into that bucket. That's been soaking for a good week or so, and you can tell some of them have really taken on the oils and liquids that I've been putting in over the last couple of weeks, as I say, topping up the bucket as and when I feel like it's getting low. So they've really soaked in and they've gone out on the shorter spot. I put 5 spoms out to start with over that one, so that's got 15 mils and as I say, 10 mils down there. Now the second spot, I've been doing a lot of reading up on the catch reports and stuff like that of late, and basically it's saying that a lot of people have been catching over beds of particles. So what I've done, I've dug this out the cupboard, Nutty Spod Mix and Bait Tech. Now this is full of all different pulses, particles, seeds, you name it. It's basically in there to create a good carpet feed, and that'll keep them grubbing around for ages. So I've put out probably, like I say, 10 to 15 spoms of them straight up out on the 2 rod spot, because it was big enough to allow 2 rods on it. So that's that in the bucket. There is some boilie in there as well, because I wanted to obviously fish hinge stiffs over the top, so that's in there as well. Give that a good boost of the krill stick mix liquid as well, and even put a little small tin of corn in there, just for sort of another visual aspect as well, just because I had it in the cupboard really. So loads and bits and pieces in there to keep them grubbing around. Absolutely hums, and hopefully, fingers crossed, once I find that bait and get in amongst it, 1 or 2 are going to trip up. Not had anything yet. So still early days, so obviously a bit of disruption this morning, finding the spots, getting bait out, etc. and as such. So hopefully as the session draws on, they do find that bait and get amongst it. But that's my two baiting options for this session, and let's see, they put a few fish on the mat for me. Light is slowly starting to fade. Give it an hour and it'll probably be dark. The nights are really drawing in now, so just shy of 12 hours of darkness. But unfortunately the rods have remained motionless today. I have seen one or two shows in the last sort of half an hour or so up to my left hand side. Now I'm going to keep an eye on that. You know, through the hours of darkness where possible, and first thing in the morning, because if need be, and it seems like, you know, that the fish are maybe congregated up that top end, I will do a move tomorrow. I've not sacrificed a lot of bait in this swim, sort of like I say, 10 spombs over me middle and right hander, and 5 spombs over me left hander, so there's not masses of bait down there, and obviously there are a lot of smaller fish in here as well. So just going to play it by ear now until the morning, until first light, and reassess the situation. But the rods, like I say, they are out and they are on the spots, and they have got bait on them. So let's see what happens through the night and go from there. But yeah, not really much to report, to be honest. Gonna get some grub on the go. Quite hungry today. Been obviously a bit of a manic morning, moving from one side to another. Getting 3 rods sorted, which is something I'm not quite used to, because I'm only allowed 2 rods on my club water. So getting all them wrapped up and obviously bait out and finding spots and stuff. So that took a good whack on the energy levels. So going to get fed up. Get a nice brew on the go, I think, nice cup of coffee, just sit back and see what happens into these next couple of hours and into the hours of darkness, and yeah, like I say, I'll reassess from there in the morning. But for now, if anything happens through the night, obviously I'll get the camera out. You guys will be the first to see what's been going on. But yeah, fingers crossed I managed to have one. Last time I did a session, I had one in the first night in the hours of dark, so yeah, let's hope that's a repeat of then as well. So leave it there and I'll catch it with you hopefully through the night. It's just come first light and we're on the move. We've seen so many fish show up this end in front of all these swans, and it's just too much of an opportunity to miss really. In the last probably couple of hours I've seen and heard more shows than I heard all day yesterday, so I'm not going to mess about. I've got the barrow loaded, just going to whip these in and then we'll get around there. Might take me a little while to find a spot, I don't really know, to be fair, but at least I know that there's fish up there and there's fish, you know, showing and boshing and they're active. So yeah, let's get these rods in, get them on the barrow, and let's get our backsides in gear, get around there, see if we can find a couple of spots to present some baits, and fingers crossed we might just be able to nick one before the session's out tomorrow morning. As you can see, 2 rods are out directly in front of me, just shy of 50 yards. Now we're seeing fish show a little bit further beyond that, probably about another 20 yards off the back of it, and I put a lead out when I first got here to a set of rings, and it's just chocker with weed. Now, not wanting to go thrash in the water to an absolute foam, like I said, I did find a spot about 50 yards out, which is a nice bit of silt, and then it hits another bank of weed. Some of the weed that I was bringing in, it was like, you know, sort of 5 foot long. Look at this. It's literally like, it's literally about 5 foot long weed. And some of them beds, you know, fish are getting in there, you've got no chance of getting them in really. So I don't really want to fish any further out than I had to, if I'm completely honest. I found a clear area. I've stuck 2 hinge stiffs on, 2 fresh baits, different colours this time, and I put a little bit of bait over the top. They were still showing sort of as I finished spomming out. I've only put 5 spoms out, so you know I haven't gone mental, but they were still showing off the back of me. So who knows, but they stopped showing at the moment. But as you can see, it's a beautiful crisp autumn day. The leaves are just literally dropping from above, and yeah, it really does feel like autumn now. So you're probably wondering, where's that third rod now? I thought 2 rods on that spot should be more than enough to hopefully nick myself a bite. So I've done a cheeky one, had some single sticks in my bag, and I've got one just off the edge of this tree here. It's like, can just walk in just around this bush here, walk in just around here, and I've got enough give from up there to be able to flick a rod over to the edge of the bush. Is just enough give to allow the drop of the rig without it getting caught or anything. So I flicked a rod over there. It's going down nicely, it's going down onto some silt. I managed one pullback with just a bare lead, and that's like glass down there. So I put another hinge stiff over the top of that. I've walked around the bank, gone inside sort of like the bushes and stuff like that, and managed to hand in some freebies as well. So that one there is looking good. So single stick on some single rod on a couple of sticks, and as I say, that's just gone off the edge of this tree here. I haven't seen anything in there, so I don't necessarily know if there's been any fish in that corner, but you know, I thought, well, 2 rods are on the spot, on a baited spot. That one over there, you never know, it's a third option, you know, it's a third rod, it's a third option. So be silly of me not to use it and just do something a little bit different with it really. The gear and that's all tucked back out the way, not put the brolly up or anything like that yet, because I'm just hoping that sun's just going to break through them trees shortly and just gives a little bit of a warming up. But yeah, so far really quiet. Thought I'd give you an update as to what's happening, but on the fish front, not a lot really. Up to 7 o'clock, and gonna keep this short, gonna keep it sweet. Nothing's happened. Basically, I've only just started to see shows in the last couple of hours. More to my right, to be honest, literally smack bang in the middle of the lake, literally well out of reach from me, and I'm not obviously gonna start faffing around even trying to get anywhere close to them. I've gone kind of all or nothing as well on the spot where I've got the 2 rods. I'll put the last sort of 10 spoms of bait out, even though nothing's happened today. I've kind of thought, well, you know what, nothing's happened, what's the worst that's going to happen? I've put another 10 spoms of bait out there. Obviously that has been out there for best part of like, what, I don't know, 9 or 10 hours without any additional bait going out. So I thought, hey ho, just going out there. I'll put it out. I haven't redone the rods or anything, left them out on the same bait, so they're all settled now. Just topped it up with bait. That left-hander down the margin, I've not even touched that. That's literally like bang on. I couldn't have done it any better if I tried, so that's staying put. Now it's all down to whether them fish move back in up this area and yeah, actually get their heads down for the night. Like I say, they were up here in numbers sort of last night, this morning, so I'm hoping it's going to be another similar night. It's going to clear up. It's going to be a cold one. I've got a feeling with the, you know, the beautiful sunny day that we've had today. It's going to be, like I say, a really starry night again tonight, but that didn't seem to put them off last night or this morning, you know, showing themselves and giving themselves away. So hopefully with all the activity that they've been, you know, all the activity with the shows and getting about where they've been, etc. today, boshing out in, you know, certain different areas, that they hopefully want to get their heads down tonight and have a little bit of a feed, because it has been pretty warm when that sun's, you know, when that sun's been out on my back and stuff. It has been rather toasty, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, the reward is, you know, paid off at some point through the night before I've got to get off for work in the morning. So let's leave it there for now. Little Zigmeister's all wrapped up nice and warm, and we're just going to watch the water for the last half an hour to an hour, see what's happening out there before we probably just curl up in the bag and get an early night, to be honest. But yeah, fingers crossed. Let's hope something happens through the night, and obviously if it does, the camera will be straight out, because I'll be buzzing and actually, you know, just over the moon that I managed to nick one on the in the final, you know, final last hours that we've got. So around sort of 11, tops 12 hours if I have to milk it for that long, if something looks like it's going to happen. Hopefully it does, but I will catch up with you soon, and yeah, keep everything crossed for some action through the night. Lack of footage through the night, unfortunately last night was a blank. My god, it was pretty cold. Barrowing back to the car this morning, there was a light frost on the ground, and I certainly did feel it. It was quite an uncomfortable night's sleep, to be honest. I don't know why, I just couldn't settle, and yeah, I just couldn't get, you know, my head down for the day ahead at work. But I enjoyed my 48 hours on the bank. Unfortunately, you know, it's one of them. Didn't really come anywhere close to any fish. You know, I didn't feel like I was on them at any point, or that you know, I was even in for a sniff of a chance. It was just, I feel like I was chasing shadows, to be quite honest with you. Just felt like I was one step behind all the time. But still, it was nice to be out. It was nice to get out on the bank, and it beats obviously 2 days at work as well. So, you know, it could be a lot worse. But if you've watched the video, thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe to my channel as always, and leave me a comment below. Sorry, like I say, about the lack of fish on this session. Still feel like I've got a score to settle there, so I'll definitely be going back for the third session at some point, and hopefully get my hands on a couple more of those scaly creatures that are in there. But yeah, again, cheers for watching. I'll catch up with you guys sometime soon. Don't forget to come and say hi over on my Facebook page, stuff like that. Get involved in my social media. It's always good to hear from you guys. But yeah, better get myself off to work and see what the rest of the week has in store. Cheers everybody, and speak to you soon.